The majority of people believe that saving money entails living like a monk, cutting back on spending, missing coffee trips, and canceling Netflix. The image we were sold is that one, give up everything now in the hopes of retiring at age 65 and breathing easier. However, Solomon, the richest monarch in Israel's history, would just shake his head when he saw such attitude. Even though he constructed mansions, dined lavishly, hosted international aristocracy, and led an extravagant lifestyle, this man's wealth never escaped him. Why? Because he knew something that has been mostly forgotten in contemporary America. How well you manage and care for what you currently have is more important to wealth than how much money you make. Let's take a moment to consider it. How many people do you know that earn six figures or more but are heavily indebted? How many families can't manage a $500 emergency without a credit card, but seeming wealthy on Instagram? How many individuals wind themselves broke again after thinking that their problems will be resolved by the next raise, job, or side project? This is what Solomon would refer to as folly. The prudent stockpile bread and olive oil, while foolish devour theirs, according to Proverbs 21, verse 20. Keep in mind that this is about self-control and strategic preservation, not hoarding. Do you find this topic interesting? If so, leave a comment below saying, like King Solomon, I will be wealthy and wise. I'll give your remark a heart once I see it. Firstly, if you want to help the channel, please subscribe and leave a like. It only takes a few seconds and really benefits the channel. We got a ton of motivational stuff in store for you, full with advice on how to have a more prosperous and satisfying life. Let's get started now that you've subscribed and left a remark. The first is the unseen foe rescue. I believe Solomon would see the true issue right away if he were to visit the U.S. today. The secret adversary's attitude, not poor income, inflation, or taxation. According to Proverbs 23, verse 7, a man is as he thinks in his heart. If you believe that money will vanish as soon as it enters your account, it will. Because of this, many people who earn $200,000 annually have the same level of stress as those who earn $40,000. Every increase turns into a justification for an improvement. The house grows finer, the clothing gets more expensive, the automobile gets bigger, and the debt gets heavier. Lifestyle inflation is what it is. In addition to emotional expenditure, Solomon would refer to it as vanity. In Solomon's time, extravagant feasts and golden clothing were ways for individuals to flaunt their wealth. These days, it's iPhones, high-end brands, $7 lattes, or well-earned but unaffordable holidays. When the credit card statement arrived, how many times have you convinced yourself, I worked hard, I earned this, only to later regret it? Solomon could chuckle and remark, eating tomorrow is your reward. This is where Solomon changes the course of events. Nowadays, a lot of Christians shy away from saving because they believe it to be unspiritual, or worse, because they are taught it demonstrates a lack of faith. Solomon's whole life, however, contradicts that. He continuously made investments in the infrastructure of his kingdom despite his enormous riches. Because he knew that seasons change, he kept gold, food, and lumber in reserve rather than out of dread of scarcity. Consider the story of Joseph in Genesis. During 7 years of plenty, he hoarded food to get through 7 years of famine. It was divine strategy rather than terror. These days, that would equate saving 3 to 6 months' worth of spending in an emergency fund, investing in equities that yield dividends or real estate, varying sources of income. Yes, you should invest in 8 ventures. Ecclesiastes 11, verse 11, verse 2. This is knowledge rather than greed. The Bible opposes stockpiling without a purpose, not saving. The purpose, the difference. I'd better keep this since God might not provide, argues fear-driven saving. I will prepare since God always provides, according to faith-driven saving. And now for the lovely twist. You may donate liberally when you manage your finances well. All someone who is broke can say is, I wish I could help. How much do you need? Might be asked by someone who is ready. Solomon writes in Proverbs 13, verse 22, for this reason. A decent guy leaves his offspring an inheritance. Now enter this in the comment section. I'm determined to save regularly so that I can make prudent investments and safeguard my future. I'll give you a heart when I see your remark. since I know you're wise. After your comment, let's go on. Second place. The Solomonic approach is to plan every coin. Let's be realistic. Solomon didn't just happen to be wealthy. According to 1 Chronicles, chapter 29, verse 2, I have done everything in my power to prepare for my God's house. Getting ready, order, intention. That's the key. Solomon wouldn't be following the newest business fad to please neighbors if he were still living in America today. He would take 3 actions. Prior to making any purchases, allocate 40% of his salary to investments and savings. Make his fortune more varied. Businesses now, stocks, bonds, real estate, commerce, and agriculture in the past. Spending should be in line with ideals. Not everything that is dazzling is worth your money. Consider it this way. You're moving backwards if you make $5,000 a month but spend $5,100. Solomon would refer to that as stupidity. Even monarchs fail in the absence of discipline. However, even common people may accumulate wealth that outlasts them if they practice discipline. This is the actual query Solomon's wisdom poses to us. Are you only pursuing the next payday, or are you creating something that will last? Are you saving wisely for future, or are you squandering money today? Do you believe that God provides when you steward properly, or do you live in fear of your money running out? Because ultimately, saving does not entail deprivation. It has to do with freedom. It's about setting yourself up to take advantage of opportunities when they arise. You are resilient when a catastrophe arises, and you may obey without question when God asks you to donate. That's Solomon's approach. Not hustling culture, not fear, not greed, but wisdom, stewardship, and legacy. And if people accepted that, we would see a lot more families living in a state of peace rather than debt, as well as fewer bankruptcies and stressed-out homes. Solomon's wealth plan comes in at number 3. Every resource used in the construction of the temple was assigned before it was ever obtained by King Solomon. Gold wasn't purchased only to make the treasury gleam. Silver wasn't just lounging about. There was no haphazard stacking of timber. Every resource had a destination, a purpose, and a name tag. Nothing happened at random. Today, most individuals fail to see that principle. Resources move like troops on orders in Solomon's realm. Without a GPS, money travels about our globe like travelers. How many of us receive our paychecks on Fridays? By Tuesday, we are baffled and thinking, where did it all go? Poor governance, Solomon would say. You see, his sound financial judgment is similar to what is today known as zero-based budgeting. Before it leaves your hand, every dollar has a purpose. You directed it all, not because you spent it all. That's the distinction. Solomon allocated resources to the royal household, trade, and building long before a single brick was erected or a ship set sail, but most people just respond to costs. What if the American home functioned in this manner? Americans would be managing their finances as generals manage armies, rather than being caught off guard by bills. It has nothing to do with restriction. It all comes down to intentionality. Freedom is not restricted by a budget. It keeps it safe, because you have more alternatives when you have control over your finances. Solomon's wisdom is particularly relevant now because of this. We are reminded in Proverbs 27 verses 23 to 24 to be aware of the state of your flocks. Because wealth does not last forever, pay close attention to your livestock. His flocks were gold, food, animals, and valuables. Your business, retirement fund, and bank account are all yours. Back then, and as still, oversight made the difference between wealth and poverty. Solomon's saving habit comes in at number 4. Solomon was fortunate, but he did not save. He had rhythm, so he saved. Sow your seed in the morning, and let your hands not be idle in the evening, for you do not know which will succeed, reads Ecclesiastes 11 verse 6. Consistency is that. Steady movement. The antithesis of the financial culture in America, which tends to save whatever is left behind. With automation, Solomon's discipline can now be duplicated. Let 20% of your income go directly into savings or investments as soon as it arrives, before you even spend a cent on Netflix, Starbucks, or Amazon Prime. You won't miss it if you never touch it. Solomon, however, was not just reliable, he was varied. Both home farming and foreign trading contributed to his fortune. Don't just put your money in one spot in the current sense. Distribute across real estate, index funds, emergency funds, and perhaps that side project you've been putting off. Because you shouldn't be destroyed by a poor harvest or a market downer. The genius is right here. Solomon designated purposes rather than saving at random. There was a storehouse for each resource. This may be replicated by establishing distinct funds, a retirement account, a home repair fund, a trip fund, and a charity fund. Saving suddenly becomes inspiring as every dollar has a purpose. Recall verse 14 of 1 Kings 10, verse 10. Solomon was aware of the size and weight of his wealth. You cannot get better if you don't track. Track your progress using an app, spreadsheet, or pen and paper, and remember to maintain balance. Saving isn't about hoarding. Rather, it's about having the ability to embrace life without fear. Solomon saved to live well and generously in the future, not to deprive himself. Solomon's prosperity was based on habits rather than merely lofty ideals. Here are 4. Don't overspend. In America, lifestyle inflation is exalted. Newer vehicles, larger homes, and more advanced technology. However, intelligence is a better refuge than money. As Ecclesiastes 7 verse 12 tells us, you may avoid the hamster loop of earning more and spending more by maintaining a modest lifestyle. Even as your income increases, steer clear of needless debt. Verse 7 of Proverbs 22, the borrower is the lender's slave. In the U.S., credit card debt is evidence. Solomon accumulated riches before making purchases. Today, that means resisting high-interest debt and financing luxuries you can't afford. If debt is unavoidable, have a repayment plan, not a prayer and a hope. Separate one Solomon's demands from another. He funded what was important and governed with priorities. A durable tool is more valuable than a device that breaks every year. This kind of thinking optimizes a return on every dollar. Be kind to others. This is stated in Proverbs 11, verse 25. A generous individual will be successful. The person who revitalizes others will also be revitalized. Your finances are not weakened by giving. It fortifies your viewpoint. You go from shortage to overflow as a result. Financial resilience is the result of combining these behaviors. You conserve resources by living below your means. By avoiding debt, such resources are safeguarded. You enhance efficiency by prioritizing needs. Additionally, you give liberally, keeping your heart in line with God's economy. I have a secret to share with you. The largest change is beyond your means. You're thinking about it. The dread of running out was not the source of Solomon's wealth. It came from thinking about plenty, relying on God's supply. According to scarcity, there is never enough. God provides more than enough, according to plenty. Overspending or hoarding are caused by scarcity. They are both motivated by dread. Solomon exercised stewardship to prevent both, diligently saving, making prudent investments, and making a generous donation. Consider Joseph in Egypt. Stock up, so you'll be prepared for hunger. Kingdom overflow is what that is. Not spending carelessly, not saving blindly. God-centered strategic stewardship. And Americans can learn from this. Together with saving objectives, set donating goals. Don't only improve your lifestyle as your money increases. Boost your giving. Solomon hoarded, so he didn't construct the temple. Because resources were linked to mission, he constructed it. Embracing this changes the way opportunities appear. I can't risk it, according to scarcity. According to kingdom thinking, I can follow God's guidance with prudence. That may be starting a company, financing education, or lending support to a cause. Your money no longer serves as security and becomes your instrument. Freedom is that. The question is now, will you allow Solomon's insights to remain intriguing concepts? Or are you going to implement them today? Each coin is assigned. Every habit is deliberate. Every choice is based on trust. Don't be afraid. Solomon would advise against waiting for a catastrophe if he were still living in America today. Don't allow MasterCard and Visa rule your life. Manage your finances the way a monarch manages his realm. Your future self will appreciate it, as would maybe your children's children. Put this statement in the comments section. In God's method, I shall save and flourish. Because you've already transitioned from scarcity to overflow the instant you believe it. If this video has added value to your life and you're excited to make the most of it, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Please share your feedback in the comment below. And don't forget to include the phrase, I watched the video till the very end. So give me a heart. When I see your comment, I'll make sure to give you a heart. To continue your journey to success, there are 3 important steps you need to take. 1. Like this video. 2. Subscribe to this channel. 3. Turn on the notification bell. By doing this, you'll ensure you never miss out on the life-transformative information we share each week for free. Don't miss our future videos, where we'll be sharing even more golden nuggets of knowledge. All I ask for is your subscription, and I sincerely appreciate it. Creating quality content for you is our passion, and your support keeps us going strong. If you've enjoyed our content and would like to contribute, consider buying us a coffee. Simply go to the description of this video and click on the Buy Me a Coffee link to make a donation. Your contribution helps us produce more videos, explore new topics, and enhance the overall experience for you. However, you may be wondering how to truly succeed financially and create riches for future generations. I can be of assistance there. I'll walk you through the process of being financially successful. Click on this video link for more in-depth information. Please share your thoughts on this channel in the comments section. Your tale would be much appreciated. I appreciate you listening. The true money makers are you. Check out our other videos that are currently playing on your screen. You are loved by us,